Babadook is a 2014 Australian horror film directed by Jennifer Kent, and it is starring Essie Davis. A single mother, plagued by the death of her husband, battles with her son's fear of a monster lurking in the house after finding this disturbing pop-up book. I wanted to talk about this movie not only because I enjoy it, but because I wanted to bring up the topic of elevated horror, aka art house horror, as we dive deeper into this genre. Elevated horror is a fairly recent term used to describe a subgenre of horror that uses strong craftsmanship and deeper allegories in its storytelling rather than jump scares and twists. To put it simply, it's horror movies that make you think and you have to view multiple times to really analyze them. Some examples of this subgenre would be Hereditary, The Witch, or really anything Ari Aster or Robert Eggers make, Get Out, and then of course The Babadook. So the reason I chose The Babadook to talk about instead of all those other movies is because it is so easy to watch this one for the spooky season vibes, and it's the easiest one to digest in my opinion. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this movie already or at least know about it. It's a film about grief disguised as a monster movie. This is one of my favorites in the subgenre because it's one that lacks pretension like a lot of the other elevated or art house horror movies. It delivers on the scare factor while also giving a compelling story at the same time. Elevated horror gets a bad rap for being toxic at times, but I think as fans of the genre and as fans of film in general, we have to appreciate all expressions of the art form. Everything is subjective, so that's why I truly believe that the horror genre is so broad that there can be things found for almost anyone to enjoy. Some people even say now that Jaws or Silence of the Lambs are considered elevated horror movies because they contain elements of drama or comedy that make it superior to just the average horror movie, which is just an unfair assessment in my opinion. And I don't mean to go on this digression, but doing this review is kind of an excuse to. Anyways, back to The Babadook. Essie Davis gives a standout performance in this movie as a mother who is emotionally bankrupt and doesn't know a healthy coping mechanism after the loss that she's experienced. I do have to point out though that her son Samuel is annoying as shit in this movie, like non-stop. And I think that's kind of what they were going for because they want to put you in Essie Davis's shoes and experience what it's like to be his mother. But the actor that plays Samuel did a great job. You know, I can't blame him for being annoying as the character. But sometimes you just want to slap the shit out of him and just make him stop screaming. The production design is really well done and thought out. The lighting and the color grade for this movie also make this look super bleak and gray, like extremely gray. This is actually something that my girlfriend pointed out a while ago when we watched this movie. It's that why do horror movies always have to look desaturated as fuck? They just look so gray and just like lack any sort of color at all. The music in this movie is very whimsical and fairy tale like to kind of go hand in hand with this children's book that's in it. It just adds to the creepiness of everything. The sound design for this movie is also incredible, especially for the monster, Mr. Babadook himself. And he sounds almost insect-like at times. If you haven't checked out The Babadook already, I'm pretty sure you could go stream it on Netflix like right now. So go give it a try, and if you hate it, come back and yell at me in the comments. But I'm going to give the movie a 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode of 31 Days of Horror.